Hello everyone, and welcome to Survival Live. Now, because of my 200,000 subscriber special, my server launch, as well as Minecraft Live, it's unfortunately been about 3 weeks since the last one of these live streams, so I'm assuming some people considered I even quit this series, but I have not, and so we are going to be back inside of this survival world, and welcome everyone to the stream. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. I know I personally am. One of the reasons why I decided to live stream on Friday today instead of, let's say, Saturday like I normally do is just because there's a lot of people that are not always able to make it to my live streams. So I thought by potentially doing a live stream at a different time, I can give access to more people to watch this one, and of course everyone else can get on the replay. Alright, so more or less what we were doing in the last Survival Live episode, as far as I remember, is getting everything together for enchanting, as well as starting a mine. When starting a mine, we ran into an area with a lot of wardens. It was pretty funny because I think we triggered probably maybe 10 wardens throughout the video, and thankfully did not die from any of them. But we did make a successful strip mine, and we also finished off by making what's over here, and that is a small sugarcane farm. Now, this is nowhere near your ideal sugarcane farm setup, but it should be enough for us to get our enchantment table supplies. So we do have all the leather we need that we got from sort of exploring around earlier. And I think we'll be able to get enough paper from all this sugarcane, if not now, maybe by the second time we harvest it. But it's good to see that it seems like most people are doing well in the chat, and hello to everyone there. I hope everyone's having a great day, and thank you for making it to the live stream. And also, I'll try to, in this video, respond to as many questions as possible, as of course a lot of people will watch these to learn more about Minecraft, and so I want to make sure that throughout the video, I can answer people's questions that are about the game. But yeah, more or less, we're going to go over here, and we are going to craft this sugarcane into paper. And of course, we'll also see how much leather we have. I was able to sort through our items a little while ago, so we actually have a somewhat sorted area here. It's decent. But in terms of the leather there, I think this is right here, 35 leather. Now, normally, I'm not sure if that would quite be enough, but you can see we already have here 6 bookshelves, so we just need 9 more, and that should be enough. Someone said, do you have any advice for new players? I do quite a bit of advice for new players. In fact, maybe sometime I'll make a video exactly about what new players should do specifically. But one of the things is that oftentimes what people will forget when playing Minecraft is that unlike all the mobs around you, you can move blocks, place blocks, sort of dig yourself into different areas, make pillars upwards, block yourself in from things like skeletons. And I'll often see people dying from mobs wherein they could have, let's just say, placed some blocks in front of them. Another important thing is it's always good to explore around where you are, because I've had times when I'm starting out in a base and it turns up maybe 200 blocks later there was a village, but I didn't know that, so I went through all the trouble of getting villagers or trying to look for a different village when there was one just behind me. But either way, we're going to craft some books. So because we need 9 bookshelves, we need 3 books per bookshelf. So of course that would mean we need 27 books, and we have more than enough for that, which is perfect. I would craft all of this into books because of course we can enchant with books in other ways. And I might make maybe 2 or 3 books, but we're going to want to save a little bit of leather for something else if we do happen to need it, as in we don't have no leather. And so more or less we're going to have to now get some logs or some planks. I think we do have enough. I remember in the last episode, or maybe the episode before that, we mined a lot of trees, so we have lots of stacks of the logs here. So we're going to craft some bookshelves. Of course, this is how they're crafted with the 6 planks. It's actually interesting. I'm sure a lot of people have been quite excited by Minecraft Live, which was, I guess, a little under a week ago, or yeah, a week ago from tomorrow. And so something that I think is really interesting, now that we do have the first snapshot for that, is that the chiseled bookshelves, which I actually think is kind of a strange name because chiseled would sort of mean that they're stone. That was the wrong placement for that. I actually have a silk touch hoe I can break that with. Video, we saw, of course, the chiseled bookshelves, and now in the snapshot we can play with those. And so what's interesting is the crafting recipe for those is really similar to the standard books. It just has 3 slabs instead of 3 books. Anyway, we're now at level 30, which is awesome on the enchantment table, of course. And we're at level 31 for our actual XP bar. But we can basically get our XP as high as we need because we do have the entrance to a strip mine just around here. And then from there, of course, we can get some, mine up some deep dark items, of course, the skulk and all that, and get some enchantmenting to get some levels from that. So anyway, I think we're going to start by probably getting an item to enchant. We do have a sort of low tier pickaxe around here, I believe. We also have 9 diamonds. In the thumbnail of these videos, I keep showing myself with sort of full diamond armor and all these things, and that's because that's sort of the goal. We want to try and get to that. So we may do some mining today, but I also want to do some more exciting things like going back to the nether and finally getting absolutely enough ender pearls as well as blaze rods to potentially go to the ender dragon. Probably not going to the ender dragon today, but getting the supplies for that would be great. So we're gonna go over here. I'm going to enchant this, and it has Silk Touch right off the bat. That is awesome. Of course, it's not always that common to get Silk Touch right away, so that's a really good thing. It looks like we only have 1 piece of lapis, although I do think there's some lapis we had elsewhere. Where if not, I'm sure we can find some very, very easily. There might be some in here. I'm not actually sure. That'd be very funny if the thing we didn't have is lapis. Maybe that is the case, which is interesting. So what I'll do is I guess I'll go back down the strip mine and we will mine for like 2 pieces of lapis, which again, kind of funny I don't have more of that. I thought I would have, but I guess not. So it does look like it's nighttime, so we're going to sleep there. And then we're going to head down and mine up 2 or 3 pieces of lapis to get that silk touch. It's always nice where you sort of start out with a guaranteed enchantment of a certain type, as it usually doesn't happen. And so, for instance, in this scenario, we have that guaranteed silk touch. This is such a fun drop. This just massive, like just dive right off. It's amazing because, of course, we're so close to the top of the Minecraft world. To then fall down almost to the bottom of it is quite a change. So we're just looking for some lapis here. Of course, we want to go a little bit higher up, actually, to find it. This is where in the last episode you're sort of fighting, well, not really fighting, but sort of disabling the ability for those wardens to come back. And more or less, we're going to go around here and we're going to try and find some lapis that generated around. Now, someone asked, what is the piglin for? The piglin is just for bartering with, so if you throw gold at the piglin, gold ingots specifically, they will give you sort of a random item from this selection. And some of them are really useful, so like crying obsidian or spectral arrows if you're in Java. And of course also ender pearls, which is like a thing that speedrunners will often do, is they'll try and get ender pearls from the piglins. So that's what piglins are for. And of course the zombified piglins are basically just something interesting. And of course with them, if you hit them once, then they'll all get mad at you and you until you die. So we have gotten to an unrated part of the skulk. Now I could try digging this away. I don't see any shriekers, so there probably isn't one around here. Because shriekers aren't that common in the deep dark caves. That's actually something that's really interesting, is that it's honestly not that common to have the shriekers. It's just when there is one, all the sensors around it will activate it. So there's that. Someone said I passed lapis. I can take a look, although I'm fairly certain I didn't, but I can take a look around here. Something I found is actually kind of interesting, is that I found that with the skulk veins, as well as with the glow lichen, sometimes they'll sort of look like an ore, and I'll sort of like think it's, let's say, diamonds or gold or something from very far away, just because there's sort of that pattern on the surface of the stone that resembles it. But there is also a very large cave actually that almost guaranteed has lapis, and that's just above us 1 level, so that should be fairly easy to go down here and grab that. We could also go down this way, but I don't see much of a point to doing that. If we go back to our strip mine tunnel, then of course we can find the way to that cave. Now I believe that cave was, I think it's right up there, so that might be a little bit too high, but technically, the best level ever for mining lapis is basically right around here. So it's the mix between the deep slate layer and the stone layer. Now there's this. But remember, there's a very large cave. Now this one's probably a little bit high up to get a large amount of lapis. It's such a big cave, I feel like there's almost guaranteed some lapis here. In fact, I'd be incredibly shocked if there's not. But this is not a sort of Skulk Shrieker proof cave. So I don't think we have any wool on us either. So we'll have to be very, very careful as we look around here. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to put down any torches, just because there's, of course, that would cause the shriekers to be set off. But we'll take a little look around here. I'm sure there is some lapis in one of the cave walls. It's always so crazy with massive caves like this, especially one that has those skulk sensors so high up in the world. It's somewhat uncommon for that to be the case, really. The deep dark generally tends to be at the deep slate layer or lower. I should be fairly safe if I place a torch about here. There we go. So you can see a little bit there. And we'll sort of look down the edge here a bit lower. No, that was close. There could have been a shrieker down there. We'll take a look around. Someone says, how do you find ancient cities? Well, that's a good question. More or less ancient cities and deep dark generation is completely dependent on what's known as erosion. So more or less in real life how things sort of work is that mountains are kind of pushed out of the ground by tectonic plates, but because of that they start very sharp, and then over time they'll get worn down. And so the idea would be is that if an area is of low erosion, it means those mountains are still really sharp, so you have really high mountains. But if an area is high erosion, it means that those sharp mountains are sort of worn down a lot over time, or maybe even, let's say, something that's not a mountain at all, so maybe a seabed or maybe a plains biome or something that's not very high up. So when you find an area that is low erosions, that would mean incredibly tall mountains. You want to dig under there, as more or less the higher the erosion, the greater chance for there to be not only deep dark, but also the ancient city. I'm actually surprised we haven't found any lapis. Now, I know that there is, of course, the thing where this lapis generation is sort of split up between air exposed and non-air exposed. So we're also out of torches. But I cannot see any lapis around here. It's kind of funny that the one thing that is in our way for enchanting is lapis, which in my opinion would sort of be like the easiest part to get. But we'll take another look around here. I'm actually shocked by how large this cave is. I had no idea this cave was this large. Perhaps once we get these shriekers out of it, we could actually use it for something. Not sure, so we'll take a look around here a little bit longer, and then we'll go back the other way so we're not just stumbling through the dark the entire live stream, as that's not super interesting. Definitely goes down there too into more of this deep dark. This could definitely be a fun thing to do, is go through here. There might even be an ancient city that it connects to. Now we are near the edge, so there's a creeper there. That's actually something interesting. So people have told me before that they've been in the deep dark and they found hostile mobs there, and I do believe there is a bug on Bedrock where that can happen. But another thing that can happen is they can just generate on the side, then walk towards there, which of course forces you to walk closely, and then because of that you have to go around and more or less and maybe the shriekers get triggered. So I'm gonna go back here the way we went, and again sort of looking around for the lapis there. I'm sure there is some we're not seeing just because it's so dark, but that's about what it is, and I don't really know anything else we could do to find that more efficiently for now. But what I might do is I might grab some torches and sort of run here like crazy,